Namaste, Jai Bharat. I would say that NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, though it's not North Atlantic confined, is a racist organization. It's a racist organization, racist military alliance. Though the pretext is after World War II, all the stories, which is not really World War, it's European War. All such stories. They have made a military alliance of collectivity, of togetherness, of the whites, and they had been bullying the world, had been prescribing things to the rest of the world, had been at their best efforts to control the rest of the world. And they have developed a kind of dependency of on the whites to begin with. At least they aspire to be that, but that is not very successful with everyone. But this dependency is in the air in almost all fields. So NATO is a racist thing, I would say that. Now, after the European War II, America becomes powerful after their hunger march, etc. And they made in such a manner so they got an opportunity to do so. The world became dependent on dollar, the dollar dependence. So these few things, dollar dependency and NATO's racial attitude to the rest of the world, though they are not majority in the world, had created such hegemony which the whites thought is everlasting. Of course, nothing is everlasting, which is taught to us by the Hindu philosophy. Kshanika Vada, which is popularized by Buddhism. For us, for me, Buddha is not a different thinker, and Buddhism is not a different religion. We accept it because the Hindus do worship Buddha, because Hindus had already accepted Buddhas were not avatars of Mahavishnu. If a Buddhist did not want to go to Hindu temple, that's his choice. But Hindu would definitely go to Buddha Vihar and pray, offer worship. That's a Hindu attitude. Same with Mahavira Swami, the Jains, and with the Sikhs. Tell me, which of their worship places Hindus do not go? Hindus go to Jain temples, Buddha Viharas, and the Sikh Gurudwaras as genuinely, if not more genuinely, than they themselves do. Because Hindus don't see them separate. So the point is, the white supremacy, white hegemony had been functioning in the world, trying to make the rest of the world somewhere something like subaltern. Which of course many don't accept is another thing, but they think so. And what they think doesn't matter to us, that's a matter of fact still. The dollar become powerful because America got a chance after the European Second War. And they see, look at the expression in the history. World War One, World War Two. They were not world wars. Be realistic to call them as European War One and European War Two. That's it. So dollar dependence, one kind of hegemony. White supremacy, another kind of hegemony. And NATO, which strengthens a possibility of white supremacy, which is essentially racist, is another phenomenon. They are the very people who talks about human rights and equality, all kinds of rhetorics. But this is what they do. It was bipolar world after the Second European War. One side, the former Soviet Union, another side, America and their allies. That Soviet Union they have destroyed. The Europeans destroyed. Of course, that was destroyable because that is a synthetic unity. Soviet Union was a synthetic unity of the brutal communist force of bringing people together. They had otherwise no reasons to be together, except not that serious kind of geographical contiguity. Is there, but not that serious. There hardly any cultural affinity that way. So it is a community. What brought the Soviet Union as Soviet Union is a brutal force of communism which unites them. Very brutal, very mechanical kind of unity. Lenin successfully did it. But communism is a failed. I cannot say it has failed because it never made its impact anywhere. So how can I say it failed? Something which is not hatched from the dreams of Marx. Something which is not hatched, it remains in the embryo stage still. And it can't take off because we understood the theoretical internal contradictions. If you go into the theories of Marx, you will find how contradictory the theories are, which invites impossibility in every aspect. But then you can take lessons from them and apply it elsewhere. That's a different instructive part of it, creative part of it is there. But otherwise, the system as such is, of course, not quite possible at all. So that really is utopia. Actually, when you said Plato's Callipolis as utopia, you made a mistake. Callipolis is a reality. Utopia is not an impossible situation. Plato had only copied the Vedic society which really was used to exist. Still has its impact. Different topic in any case. So, this kind of a thing, hegemony is there. So it was bipolar world. With the secession of former Soviet Union, it caused a unipolar world where America is the world police. That's what people used to call everything, big everything, and everyone has to depend on on America and the American dollar. That's more sensitive. Depend on American dollar. But BRICS, that of course the entire credit should go to my Prime Minister to make it active. He has not started it, I'm not saying that. But the credit of making it active really goes to my Prime Minister. He is such a visionary. I treat him as an avatar. Nothing more, nothing less. So I need not say anything further. The BRICS becomes active. It is BRIC, then becomes BRICS, then 10 more members joins, outside supporters 10 more, etc. And in time, the members in BRICS, the numbers will increase. BRICS can, this is only my speculation, possibly become an alternative world order. It is not going to be bipolar. It's going to be multipolar. Like Hegel says, to each one to his station who would discharge his duties effectively, his duties from his station. That is a wonderful imagination of Hegel's political philosophy. So, not his theory of absolute metaphysics. So, by multipolar means every individual is significant. Every individual has his contribution to the cosmic, to the collective, and they function in tandem towards mutual betterment. Coexistence becomes a principle, and coexistence Bharat is given from the Rig Veda. 10th mandala is the last mandala, and the last sukta of the last mandala talks about coexistence, which I call it as epistemology of coexistence. This possibility is the future I am talking about. Then, alternative to NATO, there could be a possibility of military understanding among the BRICS nations. BRICS are now, in your perspective, in the whites' perspective, is subaltern to them. Actually, the whites are more subaltern because culture begins from the East. All religions are from the East. But then they don't understand it. That is why, that's why they're dumb. So that's why they believe in white supremacy, all kinds of things. So subaltern will join. I'm not subscribing to the view of subalternism. For me, you are subalterns. So they will get together. There could be a possible military alliance of these BRICS people with increasing number. Then there are already indications of uh, cutting down dollar dependency. Many of us have already effectively escaped from dollar dependency considerably. The members are capable of finding alternatives to dollar dependency, which is successfully getting practiced. So all these things put together, the world order can change, which is a necessity of the time, and necessity for the coexistence of the world, where each individual is given his due respect, dignity, and space, from where he will contribute to the general. That is quite possible in future because sensible people are at it, not selfish power mongers who think power can remove their hunger. So this is a possibility with BRICS. BRICS has really miles to go again, miles to go ahead, and miles to go forward. This is a possibility where the world then can live in peace, possibly. Otherwise, there would be again so-called European wars, and you would make them world wars. Possibly, Asia also will get involved. Possibly, more of Asian nations. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Sri Ram.